Guys, what a awesome couple days down at Branson, Missouri. I had so much fun. Talked to so many great loggers from all across the United States. It was truly an honor. Seriously, I can't even say it enough because it couldn't be more true. It was an honor to get to talk in front of some of the greatest loggers in the United States about logging in Missouri, about logging in social media. It was to be asked to do it was it's been one of the highlights of my life. It was a little nerve wracking, but to stand up there and talk to everybody, it was great. I I hope I get to see a lot of people again next year in Maine. We're already planning to attend the 2023 convention in Maine next year. It was just so much fun. Again, so many great people. Uh, if you go to one of these things and you don't learn something, you're not in the right place, or you don't enjoy logging. Just you go there with an open mind. You just go there full of enthusiasm, excitement, and it did. I come away with a lot of great ideas. I come away knowing a lot of great people that hopefully I'll get to talk to and ask for help and advice further down the road in my logging career. Again, it was truly great. So I made it back home today. It's Saturday afternoon. Of course, it's early evening right now, but I brought the Western Star home today. It's been down there since Wednesday. I was glad to get back. I'm ready to be back in the woods tomorrow. I'll say that for sure. But we did. We had a blast. So I checked something off my bucket list last night. Whiskey barrel. I've always wanted a whiskey barrel for decoration. I think it's a logger thing. All my life, my dad and I have cut this material to go into making these barrels here in Missouri. And last night, the Log-A-Loads for Kid Benefit auction at the American Logging Council, I ponied up and I bought one of these barrels. And I told the table of my group of friends I was sitting at, I said, I'm leaving here with one of these barrels. I said, I don't care what we got to spend. I'm leaving here with one of these barrels. And I wasn't the only person that wanted one of these barrels. They had two of them. This one's old. They had a new one. And they were a pretty hot ticket. And they usually are, but I'd wanted one. And again, the money went to a good cause. The Log-A-Load for Kids Foundation goes to the Children's Miracle Network throughout the United States now. Since last night's convention was in Missouri, it went to the MU Med Center for the Children's Miracle Network here. So this thing's heavy. I'm going to see if I can get it out here real quick. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, real heavy. So check this out. McGinnis Wood Products, which they're a white oak log stave buyer here in Missouri. The thing I like about this, Chinkapin oak, says right there on it. Chinkapin oak is what this is made out of. Wood Hat Spirits. So much of that stuff I don't know what it means. I'm assuming there was a bourbon company called Wood Hat Spirits. I'm a super big drinker here, so I don't know. But this is a small barrel. It's not a big one, but this thing still weighs a ton. This is where you, I guess, pour in or pour out the bourbon or the whiskey or wine. But I think this is so cool. Again, I'd wanted one of these for a long time. I don't know the gallon measurement on that. I know it doesn't look very big, but the star sets up pretty high. That's probably, I'm guessing, 15 or 20 gallons. That barrel is. I mean, like I said, it's not a great big barrel, but definitely really neat. The thing that really drew me to this aged barrel was the right there on Chinkapin oak. It's awesome. Now, next on the list of goodies was something I'm really proud of. Is this. After I got done talking, we come off the stage, the whole panel, the three other gentlemen I was with, we each got one of these. And this is special to me because this is made of walnut. And you guys know by watching the channel that that's our primary species that we harvest is all walnut. So I can't wait to hang that on the wall. That's really cool. I mean, that's That does. That means a lot to me right there. That's that American Logging Council emblem. That's just awesome. So cool. And being a logger and a bachelor, this is the kind of decor you can find in my house, is stuff like this. Whether it be bourbon barrels or plaques made of wood. 'Cause when you're in the business, that's the kind of stuff that means a lot to you. So I'm gonna find a place for that that's gonna look really good inside. I'd say that barrel, or even this, will look good in the new Turner Logging headquarters that's gonna be on down the road here in the months to come. Alright, well, my friend John just finished up all the lights on the Western Star here. I mean, just got them all finished up. So for now, this switch to turn the lights on, he's just got it right here, and this is, I assure you, this is very, very temporary. We'll have a switch for the lights. I've got one ordered from Western Star that will go right here. So that's, like I said, this was just for the show. I'm in here, got the air built up. He's waiting on me. Well, thank you, sir. We're gonna go ahead, pop the brake. Johnny is gonna go, and doors are closed. I'm gonna repop the brake. These, you've got to shut these doors hard. Basically slam them. Now, let's try again. Well, it says this door's not shut. I don't know. Away we go. I shouldn't be videoing and driving, but we're here close to home on the 2 lanes, so this thing's, like I said, it's just like driving my Ram pickup. You twist that knob, put it in gear, the one right there, and you just hammer down on the gas, and man, this DD15, it'll go places. 505 horsepower. Now, like I said, I think in the previous video, this won't be the last truck we ever buy or build, because honestly, it's kind of fun building these trucks, even through all the stress and the headache and making everything come together. It's really fun to see the finished product. But I would like to do a DD16 in the next one. That's bad, we don't even have 365 miles on this, and I'm already wanting to plan the next build. But they really are. It's a fun truck. It's a good looking truck. It seems like you've set up in a pedestal on this thing. It sets up high. We'll go ahead and take our Jake off right now. It's still saying my door's open, which I've slammed that thing as hard as I can, and it's still saying we've got an open door. All right, we're gonna hammer down on her. It goes effortlessly, shifts smooth. Right down the road. Anyway, first stop's gonna be down here in Springfield, the truck wash. We're gonna get all cleaned up, and then we're gonna head down the 65 highway to Branson, Missouri. That's a big machine. We're wrapping up the American Logging Council conference. My friend Travis is a Western Star. There's Project X. Oh, that's the International that belongs to the one that got away. Shut the door here. I bought myself a barrel last night at the Log-A-Load for Kids charity fundraiser. I have always wanted a bourbon barrel for decoration, and this isn't a great big bourbon barrel, but still it wasn't big enough to fit in the floorboard of the Star, so I've got it buckled in here because safety first. But it's for a good cause. But that's an old bourbon barrel. I think it's been used. It's made out of chinkapin, actually. It's got some stuff here on the top. We'll look at that later. But again, I'd always wanted one. And one cool thing I got here for speaking yesterday, and this means the world to me, is this right here, which you can't see it real good. That's a piece of walnut right there. American Loggers Council. When they handed me that, man, that is just so awesome. Especially that it's made out of walnut. That really means the world to me. I can't wait to hang that up in my house. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So much fun down here this weekend, talking with everybody, talking to some of the greatest loggers across the U.S. We're already planning to go to the 2023 ACL conference in Maine next year. It's truly been a blast. First day of cutting on a new track of timber. Getting the 500i out. I hate the 500i. But that's what I'm going to use to cut with today, because my favorite saw is getting a little work done to it. So the 500 it is, which we're going to start out today by cutting walnut. That time of the year we're back to trying to stay in it quite a bit. Anyway, Kevin's on his way here with the skidder right now. We'll start right back here. I think this is like a 150-acre farm. I don't know the exact amount. There's a creek down here where most of the timber lies. There's a draw back here where there's quite a few walnut, which we're going to start at the top of this draw with this big tree right here. I think it will be all right. It's got some dead limbs in it, so it needs to come down anyway, but it's getting the time of the year where a lot of our walnut are starting to lose their leaves, which is a good thing. That means fall's right around the corner, despite the 90-degree weather we're having this week with record highs. It's pushing 100 degrees. It got close to 100 yesterday, so it's get close to 100 today. We will not work a long day today. I've got things to do. They're wiring up Project X right now, getting the chicken lights wired up. Tomorrow afternoon, I have to take it to Branson. I'll meet up in Springfield with my friend Travis with his Western Star, and we're going to drive down there together like a couple old school super truckers in our log trucks. So that'll be fun. But let's cut some timber. Per some of my fears, this thing did not cut very good. It's just standing there. I want it to fall over here, so we'll see if Kevin can push it down here. I really thought it'd cut better than what it did. I don't know how bad it is, but I could feel cutting into it that it ain't very good. This is Kevin's first attempt at pushing a tree with a skidder, I think. We'll see how he does here. Easy there, Kevin. There's still a little sliver holding. Not as bad as I thought it was, really. Of course, it's got that bad spot there, but said I could feel it cut bad when I cut into it. There was a culprit there. I left a little bit in the heart hold, and that was my fault. I can't tell how deep that goes. Deeper than I want it to. Still a lot of lumber though. The tree needed to come down. It was in bad shape. Pull it up for me a little bit here. Finish working it up. A lot of footage on this thing. Yeah, that's good. That's good. A lot of footage of that little ugly thing. Like I said, it needed to come down anyway. It wasn't getting any better. Been there a long time. Now my dad had cut this farm off. I know it's been at least 40 years ago. It's been a while. Dad loses track of time after a while. But yeah, he cut a lot of timber off this place. Cutting the big uglies today. That is an ugly tree. There's a lot of lumber in it. And I was instructed by this client, he wants to cut anything that'll make him $1. So we're not gonna cut things too small. We never do, because we have to look out for our own best interest as well. When you get so small, you can't justify the footage in the tree for the cost and the time it takes to cut and drag it. So there's still a method to the madness, but we are cutting water oak, ash, maple, bur oak, walnut, just anything we come across. Besides, I actually cut a hickory just a minute ago. First hickory I've cut in quite some time. Now, my dad did cut the walnut off this farm about 40 years ago. Kenny's in the skidder, Dad and Kevin are on the log deck, and I myself am cutting. It's hot yesterday, it's hot today. Well, it's supposed to be a little relief coming. We're in our second summer right now here in Missouri. So we probably got a third summer at least still yet, probably in October. And maybe even a fourth in late October, early November. We're going to work till about 11 o'clock today, because I've got to get the Western Star down to Branson, Missouri this afternoon for the American Loggers Council Conference. That's a mouthful, isn't it? I don't have the Ranger on the job, so we're just using the Ram to tote us around. And all the tops, Kenny will push those back into the timber. When we're done down here, he'll get all the cleanup done, so this place will still look good when we're done. They hay this down here, so we want to be conscious and respectful of that. Now, when I say we're cutting a little bit of everything, we're cutting a little bit of everything. Elm right here. I run out of gas cutting it. If I fill back up, I come over here and cut 2 more walnut for Kenny. He's grabbing one. It was part of a double tree. The one prong of it was not really big enough to harvest, so we just cut one side off. That side will continue to grow. And this one over here was dead standing in really bad shape, but we tried to salvage what we could out of it. You can see how bad the bark is, but it's still got a little wood to it. Sap's dead. Now, granted, this piece of wood will not bring a lot of money at all, but it will bring something, and it can be salvaged and it can be utilized. And that's better for the landowner than just leaving it here to die and just go to waste. So we try to salvage what we can when we can. On this little point, I've got a few more elm, got a couple maples, some ash, some hackberry. It's just a straggler stuff. We'll probably finish out the day on this point right here. I'll go ahead and bring this monster down. This is a pretty good sized elm, really. We don't cut a lot of elm. When they get bigger like this, I don't mind cutting them because there's some footage in it, because you're just cutting for pallet. A good skidder operator means everything. Kenny, before he started cutting years and years ago, Dad had him on a skidder just like when I started out when I was a young kid. And when you start out on the skidder, you kind of got more appreciation for what a cutter does, because you've been there and you know some of the messes you can easily make or fix or make things smoother with a skidder. Now these 2 trees here, they leaned out over the creek. So what we did is I had Kenny back up to them, and we just took the choker on the tree. Then I went ahead and cut them. That way we could pull the tree tops out of the creek, and we'll just take the grapple and pile these tree tops. That way we're not leaving a mess in this creek. This is a drywood creek, a branch of it. If you guys are familiar with the area over here that watch the channel, I'm sure most of you aren't, but I'll tell you anyway. All sand, very, very, very little rock, sand and mud. A lot of good timber has been cut off this creek in years past. Again, like I said, my dad cut a whale of a job here 40 plus years ago. But contrary to popular belief, these are tall banks, and you wouldn't think this thing would get very big, but it gets on a tear at times. This whole bottom will be underwater. Water gets up on these trees a few feet. Now it is just a flash flood, but
it puts this sand, like you see here, that's mainly sand. It puts that into the bark of the trees, and it is very, 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 very abrasive when you're cutting it. Used to, we barked trees before we'd cut them. That was my job at one time, going ahead of Dad and Kenny, barking trees with an axe. Terrible work, but looking back, I wouldn't change it for nothing. But anymore, running the RS-36 and now the Hexa chain, I just eat through it. I just cut it and go. I don't stay as sharp as long naturally, but at the time is of the essence anymore.